Why, hello there. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. My name is Mr. DB333, and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4,000 Week Reich as the Hashemite Kingdom of Iraq. Now, last time we were here together, well, we tried to get some basics economic development going. I think it was starting to go okay, but we have a bit of an intifada going on right now. The Iraqi people have long resented the presence of the British and their influence across the country, and dissatisfaction has bubbled against the Hashemite dynasty, seen by many as their puppets. Now a series of protests and strikes are spreading across the country, a great intifada, or uprising against the government by the dissatisfied masses. Inspired by their comrades across the Middle East, the nation is being rocked to its core. We do have some pharmacy subsidies and a economic boom taking us to places, but other than that, it's a little rough right now. But we have a new leader, Mustafa Mahmoud al-Umari. There's not much to say about it, apparently. Looks like old Nuri is still kind of hanging out. In the meanwhile, let's take a look at the new ideology we have. Hybrid paternalism, which describes the fluidity of authoritarian governance. While the government is ruled by a strong man or an exclusive group, elements of democratic governance are also practiced. This hybrid nature can manifest in the form of some limited public political consultations, a half-hearted approval of the civil society, or even claimed adherence to constitutional rule. Meanwhile, meaningful power remains in the hands of the entrenched elites. Well, sounds pretty typical. I got my timer going. Let's get to work on more of the current goings-on. I think it'll be a good move. Let's get working on urbanizing Mosul. I could save a little longer to get Baghdad going, but I think I'll focus on updating Mosul off the bat. Get a good industrial core going in these two, maybe three areas. Maybe into Basra as well, but we'll get there when we get there. Meanwhile, we're going to finish up supporting our rural areas, and then we're going to get this intifada sorted. We have two options. We could be nice or we could be not so nice. Let's see. I plan on doing another Middle Eastern series off the bat. I could be not nice there, so I could afford to be nice as well. Ooh, okay. We got a lot of stuff going on. Laval has been executed. A lot of stuff going on. Let's go ahead and push for some negotiations. We're going to be nice. It would be impossible to use brute force against a protest to restore control. They have grown too strong. We'll reach out to leaders of the protest movement seeking to negotiate a compromise that will satisfy enough of their demands to end the turmoil and maintain national stability. For now. Yeah, let's see, we're going to replace one of our guys with another. Who is this guy? He seems okay, actually. Is that the same guy, Muhammad Hadid? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'd be fine with him. Do another industrial concern. Coup and Perm. Not too worried about that. Let's do resource contractors. Try to stretch out the oil as long as we can. And there goes the French Civil War. I'm going to talk a little for a while and hope that my video does not get demonetized. As a result, please, anyone? Anyone? Please stop. Do not demonetize me, YouTube. I'm sorry. Just bear with me. How about those, how about those Germans intervening in France? That's crazy, right? Alright. Does Kingdom of Greece have a focus tree? I forget. I didn't think it did. No. Lebanese opposition movement declared war on the Lebanese Republic. Oh! Oh! Well, well, that's interesting. Let's work on progressivizing the economy. Iraq is a country that is blessed with the wealth of our oil, but much of it remains poor. For many protesters, a major grievance was the continued poverty their communities languished in. To alleviate the masses as much as possible, we will promise to include more representation of the working class in the government. This will cost the treasury, but hopefully will calm down the masses and help avoid social turmoil or another revolution. Oh, dear God. Okay, so we have a revolution in Syria, where they're doing something or other. I don't particularly know. And, well, yeah, okay. Oh, look, does Yemen have a focus tree? They do. That's right. I don't know how much of a focus tree it is, really, but it could be interesting. If you guys are watching and you want me to play a specific country, let me know down in the comment section below. I'm trying to decide which one would be the most interesting. I feel one of the guys in this region, maybe Israel, might be a little more interesting than... just because, from my understanding, they get ganked. Well, that's probably going to be relevant. The UN partition plan from Palestine, following the United Kingdom's decision to extend their occupation of the former Mandate of Palestine, they faced stiff resistance from local Jewish and Arab militias. As a result of this, their government has decided to transfer the issue to the United Nations, which has proposed that the former Mandate be partitioned into 2 independent states along the current district borders, with Jerusalem being put under UN administration. No, that's going to be Arab land. God damn it. Excuse me, Allah damn it. Following the assassination of Albert Einstein, the UNK's decision to extend the withdrawal period, defined in the 1947 Jerusalem Accords, the former Mandate of Palestine has faced tensions not seen since the days of the first Jews' insurgency. Today it would appear that the conflict has finally reached its boiling point, with Haganah forces launching 11 simultaneous raids on all but 3 of the bridges connecting the territories of the former Mandate to its neighboring countries. Many leaders of the Yishuv have dubbed the operation a grand display of resistance by the heroic Jewish people against the British occupiers, and with war in the region seeming more and more likely by the day, the Haganah have made a name for itself around the entire world. Between 2 green riverbanks. Well, I think we still have some time to get this sorted, I hope. Let's negotiate some workers' rights as well. Many protesters, particularly striking workers in the major cities, have called for improvement to the rights of the workers, which remain more limited in Iraq than in many developed countries. While they have no desire to implement radical reforms, will loudly promise a set of improvements and strengthenings of the rights of workers, limiting working hours, improving conditions and safety. It should be nice. Gotta placate them. A good placation. Was that damaged here? Look at that. Ever since the Jerusalem Treaty of 47, many have had their eyes fixed on the Palestine region, waiting to see what would happen once the 5-year countdown towards independence had been concluded. However, yes, with the assassination of Albert Einstein in June, the British had decided to extend their occupation by another year in an attempt to root out insurgents. This attempt has backfired on them, and having met stiff resistance to their activities, the leadership of the UK has decided to transfer the issue over to the UN. A close vote, the UNGA has rejected a resolution to partition the former mandate, with the British left to deal with the situation alone. Without the UN's intervention, never the conflict seems particularly close. We will not stand for any partition. Look, we seem to have our oil on the upswing now, which is very nice to see. British stand victorious in Malaya. Good on the Brits, I guess. Actually, no, those are our Muslim brothers. We shouldn't be happy about that. Okay, the Shuv. Ever since the formation of the Mandate for Palestine following the First World War, many did not believe that the future nation would see a peaceful resolution to its conflict. These wars were briefly extinguished by the signing of Jerusalem Accords in 1947. However, London's failure to enforce the treaty and eventual assassination of Albert Einstein in July all but confirmed the demise of Britain's half-hearted attempt to maintain the peace. Although the British remained nominally in control of the region until the now extended withdrawal period expires in July of 1953, Jewish and Arab paramilitary groups have already seized control of most of the country. Not many can predict how this conflict will end, but will surely alter the course of the Middle East, perhaps forever. On thy walls, O Jerusalem. Well, surely we'll get an opportunity to do something about that, right? Right? Speaking of which, what do we want to do? We might just want to get working on oil specialization. Actually, let's get working on some of the military focuses. Iraqi armed forces. If we are to take our place as a great regional military power with the Arab world and be able to defend our borders, we must build our armed forces from a relatively ragtag organization barely able to defend our country into a true fighting force. It's time to begin the wholesale modernization of our armed forces. Well, these guys up here have a focus tree at all? They do. Interesting. Okay. Well, following the curbing of the recent political turmoil, elections have been quickly organized to bring stability and normal process back to Iraqi politics. With the votes being counted, there have been no surprises. The Constitutional Union Party, which has dominated politics since its formation in 1949, has won a majority of seats in Parliament, with Jamil al-Midfai to be appointed Prime Minister. While outside observers and the mocking rumors of many Iraqis have painted the election as not entirely fair, for now it has served its purpose in restoring some stability. Back to normal. It's a 53 election. Let's go ahead and read that. Movement towards normal political processes back towards normal political processes, it's time to assuage the fears of many of the masses by organizing fresh elections. Of course, we will subtly shape the election to any degree necessary in order to avoid an undesirable outcome and maintain the stability of our government, but we will allow the people a voice, which hopefully help lower ongoing tensions. Back to normal, at least for now. So we have two different options. Back to normalcy. And addressing the military budget. The Syrians over here are getting their stuff pushed in. Let's get some support weapons going. I think that's going to be good all around. And let's get working on our new generation of rifles. Let's get working on returning to normalcy. In the immediate term, our actions have succeeded, and the country has been largely restabilized. It's time to restore normal civilian rule and turn the page on this ugly chapter. And there we are. Calling handover. I'm trying to figure out if there's been any real movement over here. I can't really tell. I don't think so, though. The fear is dead. Holy shit. Anyone saw that coming. Okay, there's a slight... Gonna give slight edge to the Israelis right now. Looks like they've actually made a push in. Yeah, I don't know. Well, let's address the budget next. It seems our military brass have taken advantage of the weaknesses of our government, the situation to make their own demands. In not so subtle terms, top generals requested, or rather demanded, a commitment to increasing the military budget, according to them, to safeguard the country's security, and as compensation for the Army's help in these trying times. This puts us in a rather difficult position, and we'll have to seriously consider their proposals. Well, we might have to give that a gander. Oh, okay. Oh, no, well, yeah, they're still pushing in there. Oh, no. Yeah, the Jews are having a rough go of it. Which I guess, we shouldn't be really surprised in this timeline, should we? They, the whole start con there. Ukraine is collapsing. Democratic Republic of Burma. Abstain. We don't particularly care about Burma. Okay. Well, in the wake of recent instability, it seems our military brass have taken advantage of the weakness of our government and their strength in this situation to make their own demands. In not so subtle terms, top generals have requested, or rather demanded, a commitment to increasing the military budget, according to them, to safeguard the country's security and as compensation for the Army's help in these trying times. This puts us in a rather difficult position. Increasing the military's budget would, of course, strengthen our armed forces and, perhaps more importantly, keep our military on our side, but it would be expensive. Much of our budget having already been spent on other projects and promises to appease the masses simply put a strain on our treasury. the other hand, simply refusing the military's demands would be risky. While we do not believe they would turn against us entirely, such an important part of our state and security system, seeing wavering loyalties could become very dangerous if there were to be another similar crisis. Let's approve an increased budget. Could use the extra rifles right now anyway. And meanwhile, let's get working on Robertson's report. Prepared in 1951 by British Army officer Brian Robertson, the infamous Robertson report outlined the severe deficiencies of the Iraqi army, arguing that it could do little to aid Britain's position in the Middle East at the time, likely not even defend the country against an invading major power. Clearly, this is concerning to us, and we should read the report closely to learn about and deal with the deficiencies found. There we go. Let's go ahead and get working on investing in some artillery. Start building that out. There goes Romania versus Hungary. We'll see how that plays out for them. Oh, and there we go. Look at that. Ever since the death of his father in 1939, Iraq has been ruled by the late King Ghazi's brother-in-law, Abd al-Ilah, who has served as regent for Ghazi's young son. Now, with young Faisal II coming of age, the regent has stepped down, making way for the young heir to take the throne. As Faisal II inherits his father's mantle, he also inherits a nation which the country contains many groups that oppose his rule, and the stability of the kingdom is in danger. Today, however, for Faisal and the Iraqi monarchy, there's a jubilant mood. Long live the king. Beautiful. I don't see where he went, but, you know. Well, you know, now we just kind of wait and see what's going on. Yeah, it doesn't look great for the Jews, I gotta say. We haven't even ganged up on them, really. I was expecting something a bit more, you know, 7-day war-y. Maybe that's still yet to come. Maybe I might be jumping to assumption too quickly here. Let's get some post-war line production working. Okay. In recent years, the country and the so-called perception, the world's perception of the Iraqi army forces has rested on the so-called Robertson report, which we will first off. Let's go ahead. Let's get charismatic going. Organization first. There we go. Prepared in 1951 by British Army officer Brian Robertson, once it supported the British military aid to its Arab allies like Iraq, the report disavowed him and anyone else of the immediate usefulness of such a plan, citing systemic weaknesses within the Iraqi army, particularly the lack of cooperativeness, conservatism, and reluctance to reform of its command. Robertson's indictment concluded that the Iraq could be of little to no help in defending British major interests in the event of invasion of the Middle East by a major power like Germany or Italy, ultimately recommending against significant efforts at strategic cooperation as essentially pointless. Clearly, if we are to achieve genuine military independence and usefulness, we must show our allies that this damning report is no longer true, and that means reflecting on the problem it identified and working to fix them. We cannot let our allies abandon us as useless. We must show we are able to hold our own. The future of Iraq depends on it. We will undo the shame. Alright. Well, let's get working on modernize the army. Possibly get to working on let's modernize the army. I get working on improving the officers' corps. Yeah, let's do that. The Army is the oldest and by far the largest branch of our armed forces, but unfortunately it is in a poor state. Old, obsolete, and weak is not a force befitting our country's ambitions. It is time to begin thoroughly modernizing the Army to turn it into a capable fighting force. There we go. How you doing over there, Yeshuv? Yeah. That's rough, buddy. Sure. If you're going to ask me the question again, I'll just say yes. How's that treating you? Or the Palestinian Civil War. Okay, so, yeah, let's not knock Israel here. They're holding their own, but, yeah, that's gonna be a rough to deal with. We'll just have to wait until next video to see how they deal with that, because I'm gonna leave things there. But thanks always for watching, my friends. I hope you liked this video. If not, if you did, leave a like. If not, feel free to dislike. Leave a comment or feedback down in the comment section below. I read all the comments I get, and I do appreciate any feedback you might have for me. Leave any comment. Like I just said that. Hit the sub button or the notification bell to keep updated with these uploads as they come out. I upload weekdays as well as Saturdays. So if you're interested in my content, go ahead and do that. In the meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and leave things here. But I thank you as always for watching, my friends. My name has been Mr. DB333, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.